Welcome, everybody. I'm here with Jeremy Tackett. He's the publications coordinator at the University of Pikeville. Jeremy, thanks for joining me. You got your new phone in your hands that you unboxed the other day. And before we get started on that, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your reason why you wanted to switch from an iPhone to an Android.
Okay. Well, I've been an Apple guy for years. I'm a graphic designer, so I've grown up, live in the Apple world. Always been an iPhone kind of guy. But, just started looking at the specs for the new one. Still love the brand, but just wanted to start maybe looking around, seeing what else is out there. Came across the Moto X and just saw a lot of really good features, a lot of really good reviews. Price was great, and I thought we'd just give it a shot.
I know. I've been waiting on it for about 2 months, and it's been one of the last phones to hit. And Friday came around, I got a little email from some website I subscribed to, and it showed a little screenshot that Verizon was releasing it, but they didn't really publicize they were releasing it on Friday. So I went down to Lexington, picked it up, and my life had already been changed since I had switched to Android.
Sure.
But this phone also changed it again. So I want to know, has it changed your life, Jeremy? Has it changed your life?
It has changed my life. It's simplified it. You kind of have those moments where you just never go back and you don't know how you really lived before.
Exactly.
That's sort of where I am. I look at it and I don't know how I made it through this many years without this phone in my life. It's been fantastic.
It was like living in the 80s again, just totally without a phone.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you unboxed it the other day, and you got your hands on it. You actually got you actually customized yours and got a leather back on your phone, correct?
I did, yeah. Went with the UK blue and did the leather back, which has been fantastic. It's sort of saved me the need to have a case. Just kind of feels really good, doesn't slide around. Just a great feeling phone.
Very, very classy, professional, and very Homer-like for your team. I went with the bamboo. The bamboo is pretty nice itself. But either way, no matter how you design the phone, it is still the best phone out, period, and we'll talk about that. So we were going to do this show actually right after you unboxed it, and we had some hiccups, but I gave you a week to play around with it, and I think this is going to make for a better discussion about it. So tell me, just overall the last week, just tell me what you like about it.
Simplicity. Absolutely. I love how simple it is. I love that it's intuitive. It's been probably 3 or 4 generations of Android operating system since I've touched an Android phone. So a lot of stuff looks different than the last time I'd used it, but there's so much that's just intuitive, from the way that you log into the home screen to downloading new apps to customizing your home screen. It seems like it's just second nature. Everything works incredibly simply. It's smooth. It's fast. It's just been really, it's rolled right into my normal workflow. Haven't really had to change anything that I do, from the way I use a phone with business to apps that I do a lot of music, a lot of watching videos, Netflix, and it's just like it's always been there. Not a huge learning curve at all. Loved it.
So Steve Jobs, I know you're listening to this, but Jeremy, you can thank Google for your very, very nice phone, because the Motorola actually was part of, or Google actually had stock in Motorola, or Motorola was part of Google for about 2 years. But the reason why that this phone is so simple is because it's actually just got basic Android KitKat on it. There's no Samsung doesn't add their own Whiz Touch to it, or HTC doesn't add their own spin on it. So the good thing about this is when the new Android L drops, the new operating system drops, you'll be one of the first ones to get it, because manufacturers take it and put their own little spin on it too.
Sure.
So
yeah.
That's another big thing about it. So tell me something else. Tell me something else. Anything.
Love the Moto commands. The voice command is fantastic. It does a lot of great things already, but what I'm really looking forward to is what this voice command is going to do in the next couple iterations, in the next few releases. It's got the potential to really just be a game changer, and this thing's intuitive. It'll do what you want it to do. It knows when you're driving, so it'll talk to you. It's got a lot of great hands-free features, and I've just really enjoyed getting to know sort of how to talk to my phone, which may sound strange, but getting to know Moto has really been it's been a fun week.
So you named it Moto.
I named it Moto, yeah.
Did you name it Moto X or just Moto?
Just Moto.
Okay, I went with the X. I'm different. I'm sorry, I don't know. So let's try some of these voice commands out. go ahead and give it the whirl.
Yeah, let's fire it up. Moto, you ready? What's up?
Hello, the time is 10:28 a.m. You received a notification from mailbox at 10:04 a.m. Jeremy, new credit alert. Hi, Jeremy. Credit Karma's credit monitoring service found the following change on your TransUnion.
Oh, Jeremy.
Oh, I mean, somebody's been out spending some money. But yeah, I love that I can just ask it simple questions. It's going to give me just a real quick heads up of what's going on. Moto, you ready? What's the weather?
She's not ready, Jeremy.
She's not ready.
Uh-oh.
It's 57 degrees and mostly cloudy in Pikeville.
Moto, I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But thank you for that weather report.
We appreciate that, yeah.
Yeah, and that's there's all kinds of small tricks like that just really, and every phone has had voice recognition, but Motorola does it better because this phone actually has 4 speakers in it. This phone actually has 4 speakers in it, so that it kind of helps out. Also, it has just tons of IR sensors in it. So, if I called you right now, you would just, I'll go ahead and call you right now, Jeremy. Never mind.
Oh, there we go.
Bruce is calling you.
Bruce
he
is
probably
calling in.
needs something. I don't understand.
Hey, you know
why
what?
he's
Let's just
calling
let that go. Yeah, we don't want to. Let's silence
you.
that.
Just instantly silenced it.
Done. Yeah.
The phone is it's just so simple, but that's all Android and Motorola Motorola didn't just release a new model. They went back and fixed what was wrong with their old model, and their old model was great, but they knew what they had and they made improvements on it. So we'll go about a brief rundown of some of the specs on the phone. It's it's 5.5 inches. It's about 3 inches wide. Thickness is about a little over 3/4 of an inch. I'd say it probably weighs about 1/4 pound.
Yeah, it's solid, but it's not heavy.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you're going to break it, but you can make a long phone
It,
call.
it won't bend in your pocket either.
Right.
You can customize it on the Moto Customizer website. Like I said, you had the leather back. I got the bamboo. You can accent the colors. The screen size is 5.2 inches, which is actually bigger than Apple's iPhone, which is approximately 4.7 inches.
Mm-hmm.
And the screen also is 920 by 1080 with a PPI 423, which also trumps Apple's iPhone 6. And I'm sorry, I'm just ripping on Apple this show.
I feel like you have an agenda.
I feel like you're appreciating it. And actually, Apple, they claim that their processor is actually the fastest processor out there. It's not. The actual Snapdragon in this phone is the fastest processor out right now. It has 4 cores, clocks at 2.5 gigahertz. The only leg up that Apple really has on this phone is the fact that you can get a 128 gig hard drive in your phone, but I have Google Drive for storage. I don't care about that.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, biggest thing that I use storage for is for music and downloading Spotify offline.
I wonder if the storage is so if my phone bends, do I lose storage? I wonder if it degrades like that. I don't understand. The front camera is 1080p. The rear camera is 13 megapixels, 1080p. The autofocus is really good. I've been taking pictures, and I don't take a lot of pictures. I think you take a lot of pictures, actually.
Yeah.
But if you take a photo, you'll take the photo, and it will take 1 or 2 or 3, one before and one after, to give you a better choice. So you don't have to do it on your own. And then you don't even have to go to the camera command, just demonstrate how you can pull the camera.
Right. Yeah.
Up.
So we want to just kind of do an incognito, get the camera ready to go, so we can just give it a couple rocks, and we're going to pop up the camera right there. Yeah. So you're just always ready to go.
It's really intuitive.
You just never know when you're going to need to take that real quick second shot. Just that thing that's going to make you famous on the internet.
That's what everybody's looking for.
That's it.
Like Bruce's Twitch stream. So we'll go to the battery capacity. It's got a 2300 mAh battery, which it's a decent sized battery. And another thing Apple needs to work on is their phone. They've not upgraded their battery, Jeremy, since Gen 1.
I will say, I use the phone a lot. And, of course, when you have a new phone, you're going to use it all day. You're going to play with all the new features. And I've been able to make it through a work day every single day this last week without having to do any kind of charging at all. I'm able to go home, make phone calls on the way home, and not worry about the battery crashing out. Whereas before, with the iPhone, by the time I got to the end of the 2-year cycle with the 4S, I was making it 2 or 3 hours, and we're dropping out completely. So loving the battery life.
Have you set it up to where you can just say, okay, Moto, good night, and it will go ahead and set your alarm for you?
Yeah, I've got that. I tell it good night, sets the phone on silent for me, sets my alarm for the next day, and I'm all ready to go.
I mean, I don't really know what else you can ask for in a phone.
She does tell me to have sweet dreams, and that's a special moment.
She is sweet. She
It
is
is.
sweet. I haven't got her to say anything mean to me, but we'll try not to test her. So we've talked about the hands-free features, the battery life. Have anybody else asked you about your phone? I know everybody around here is all iPhone.
Well, actually, it started with when I had to make some phone calls to Verizon to get the features set up at the very first. The tech support guy on the other end of the phone, asked me 15 minutes of questions. He was super excited, said he was looking forward to getting one. His upgrade wasn't for another 6 months, and that says something about the lockdown nature of a contract with Verizon if you can't get out of it if you work for them. But he was saying, it's the best phone out there on the market, and was really excited to talk to somebody that had it in their hands. Locally here, we are a lot of iPhone people. We've got a lot of iPhone on campus, but everybody's been really excited to play with it, to touch it, to kind of feel the phone. They're really impressed with the speed. They love the intuitiveness of it. They like the hands-free sensors. They like that Moto will talk to me, and you don't even have to push a button. You can ask it a few more things than you can ask Siri. It's great.
One of the final features. Well, it's not really final. This phone's not even really fully been exploited. But one of the final area features that most people probably never actually talk about or notice is that, date back since you've had a cell phone for many years. I've probably had one for about 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Motorola flip phones. The Motorola Razr was my first phone.
Oh, yeah.
That,
great phone.
And I could get service anywhere.
Sure.
Anywhere. So Motorola, being the king that it is with reception, is actually, they give it what's called Moto X dynamic tuning. So this feature allows it to adjust the signal strength based on where you're holding the device. And tests have shown that this gives the Moto X exactly, it's approximately up to 500 times the signal strength, and adds to that an excellent talking sounding experience on your phone calls. So basically, if you're somewhere and you usually don't have service, I'm probably going to say if you have a bar usually, or it goes in and out, that the Moto X will hold a steady 1 to 2 bars, and you'll be able to get clear calls out. And another feature, and you and I were talking about this, and they are available online now. Check Verizon. The Moto X turbocharger.
It's available now.
Yeah, it was online.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it says for only 15 minutes, it will charge your phone with 8 hours talk time.
I'm going to order it when I get out of here. I mean, that's awesome. I haven't had any trouble getting the battery charged in a normal amount of time. I can plug it in a couple hours. I'm really good to go. But that turbocharger is a feature that I've been waiting for.
Yeah, it's really I don't know how they do it. I don't know any of this stuff. I don't know how they do it.
It's magic.
But they
Google.
have a.
It's Google, man.
I think they're on the right track. I've got tons of emails over the weekend, not just because I bought the phone, but Verizon's like this, and this, and this, and then, Motorola's been advertising hardcore, and then every website you read is just praising it.
Yeah.
Said it's just, there's nothing else right now other than the Moto X. Other than that, anything else you really want to talk about the phone? I mean, there's so much we can talk about.
I mean, you talked a little bit about the processor, and one of the things that I noticed out of the box is how fast this phone is in reacting to changing apps, to running multiple apps at one time. Not only is it really intuitive to jump from one to another, but there's virtually no lag. And Facebook is an app that just drags. It's known for being really resource heavy, and it's so quick. And pictures are loading fast, videos are loading fast. I've just been really impressed with how smooth everything runs on this phone. The processor is amazing.
I mean, that's what I told you. It's actually a Qualcomm Snapdragon 801 quad core clocked at 2.5 gigahertz, which is, that's faster than most people's processors in their desktops.
Yeah.
So, and I can't figure out how people are just raving over the iPhone's camera, the new iPhone's camera, and Android has had cameras like that for years. There's been hardware out there like that for years.
Well, when you start with not as many things to be excited about, it's easier to get excited about the couple of good advancements that you get, I guess.
I guess the point what I'm really trying to harp on, I've been harping on this for a while, is the Moto X2 is such a great phone. And Motorola is not as large as a company at marketing phones out as Samsung or Apple.
Yeah.
So people aren't going to get to experience what great piece of technology this is. So is it Motorola's fault for not pushing it out? No, it's not. It's America's fault. It's consumers' fault for being stupid. They're stupid. But that's why I'm here to enlighten you. You also get entertainment and enlightenment.
We appreciate that, yeah.
But this is that's how it goes.
One other feature that I really do love about this is how well it integrates with my Google account. It doesn't come with bloated software, but it does out of the box come with everything that I need to just log into my Google account. I've got my Drive, I've got my calendars, I've got my Gmail. Everything just absolutely flows. I've loved Google Hangouts. I was a little nervous that switching from iPhone, I was really used to iMessages, and that was a feature that I used a lot because I've got Apple devices, so I get all my messages on the desktop. That's great. But it's been such an easy transition to go into Google Hangouts to sort of basically create the same thing where I've still got access to all my messages everywhere I go, and just haven't looked back.
I mean, that's like when I purchased my phone. I went in the store and the guy actually he asked me to put in my Google account. And, I'm usually used to setting up my phone, and I just didn't really want to be like, no, I'll do it. So I was like, okay. He hands it back to me, and it's got everything I had. It was syncing up everything. The phone is only as good with Google, but
Sure.
It's a Google phone. But that's the thing you were saying about bloatware is there's none on it. It's just vanilla Android, and
Yep.
that is freaking wonderful.
Yeah, it's great. It's got everything that I need, but not a lot of stuff that I have to kind of dodge around or things that are going to take a lot of system resources that I'm never going to use. So I love it. It's great.
So I converted Bruce to Android, and I guess I can unofficially say that I converted you. Maybe, I don't know.
You were definitely part of the process. You were involved. You can mark it as a notch.
I did save you a drive to going to Williamson to activate your phone.
You did, absolutely, yes. And for that alone, man, thank you.
Who wants to drive to that place? I mean, who wants to drive? But let's. Has anybody? Excuse me. So, have you actually got hands on with the? Have you got hands on with the new iPhone?
I have, yeah. I've gotten to use the 6 and the 6 Plus. The 6, if I were going to go with an iPhone, I would do the 6. It's very iPhone. Not a lot of changes. A little bit longer. I thought it was great that they did the major push on the iPhone 5 that it's just stupid to have a bigger phone, and then you go to the 6 and it's a bigger phone. So let that say what it says. But the 6 Plus, it's too big for me. I think there's 28 icons on the screen at one time. They've put in some special features, I know, to help you be able to reach the things at the top of it. And I do a lot of driving and using my phone, not texting and driving. Of course, I would never.
No, never, Jeremy.
Would never do that. But when I'm at red lights and things like that, and places where I'm safely stopped and in the car,
that is legal.
I do want to be able to use the phone with one hand, and I can't. You just can't reach things. And for a very practical, it's just a large plate of bendable metal to put on my head, and I'm just not in love.
I mean, it's a sad story. Steve Jobs, you've lost another one. I'm sorry. Well, Jeremy, I really, really, really appreciate you coming in here.
Yeah, no problem.
Talking about your phone. I'm glad you love it. I knew you would.
Yeah, it's been great.
Any final closing comments or anything?
Well, I'll close with this. My wife, who has always known me to be an Apple evangelist, if Apple made a toaster, I'd have it. And she asked me just a couple days ago, would you go back? And I said, if they gave me my money back on this phone and gave me an iPhone, I wouldn't. I would stick with this one. I mean, I'm sold. I'm there. This is my phone.
Jeremy, I would take mine. I would take mine to the grave with me. It's the greatest piece of technology I've ever owned. But Jeremy, thank you, man. I really appreciate you coming in.
problem.
And hopefully you can come back on our show sometime soon.
Sure, sounds great.
Awesome.